Hey, you Twitter fans. We've got a really beautiful car for you here. You know that we've been broadcasting from the Detroit Autorama today, and here is a Grade 8 car. Sorry if this movement is blurring a little bit. Yeah, hi guys. And this is a Grade 8 car. That means it's been picked to be to contend for the Riddler Award, one of the most prestigious awards in the street riding hobby. We happen to have the owner of this car, Mike Markin from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
Well, we're glad to see you here. Now, you brought the car today. Did you expect to be in the Grade 8? Was this a purpose-built car?
I built this car to compete here in Detroit, and I was hoping to get into the Grade 8.
Absolutely.
Never expecting.
Yeah. You never can say for sure whether it's going to happen, but...
No, you don't. Competition's stiff.
What was your feeling when you found out that you'd made it?
I would say that my feet were about 20 feet off the ground, and they still haven't landed.
Yeah. And the reason you're here, the car that I saw first when I came in here today, I said, wow, that is really something. And I knew you were going to make the Grade 8. I looked at the car, I thought, wow, that is an unusual piece. This is a 1938 Graham. And, the way I look at it, you've kept this. I know that everything was refabricated on this entire car, just like all of the other top competitors here. But you were able to keep the theme of this car pretty much like a classic car. Tell me again how what your theory was when you started building the car.
Well, I wanted to build a pre-war Art Deco style car with fat fenders, and I was literally looking for something that was different and something that was unique, and basically I wanted to do something unique and different to it, and I found it in this particular car, 38 Graham, which was later nicknamed the Shark Nose Graham.
Yeah, now when I looked at this, Mike, I thought that this was pretty much all original, but after talking to you, that's not so, is it?
No, absolutely everything on this car, absolutely everything has been either modified, remade, or custom made for the car except for two pieces. And the two pieces that are basically unmolested are the headlight lens in the car. Otherwise, we've changed everything has been modified or adjusted.
All right, and the reason I thought that it looked pretty original was the grille, but you were explaining that this grille is heavily modified. Even the grille has been heavily modified on this.
In fact, the grille we custom made the grille for the car, but we kept the theme that Graham had. The original theme was Spirit of Motion in their car, so they had a lot of flowing lines and big fenders and lots of round curves on it. So with the grille, I didn't like the looks of the original grille, but we did keep the theme in it. So as you look at the grille, Graham had a chrome center bar, and they had a collar down below. They also had two bands stainless steel strips that went horizontally, which we replaced with chrome bars. And in between those, they had three more horizontal bars, and we replaced those with 7 bars. The whole grill piece here is all aluminum. And there's about 28 pieces that make this grill up.
And all of the fat fenders, those came from the factory originally on a Graham with in pieces. They were actually fitted together or had a welting, I believe.
Right.
But not on this car. What's happened here?
What we did here with the car is we didn't want the seams if possible, so we welded, combined the fenders to the front pan on both sides and beefed them up, and it's actually now a front clip that just slides off in the car rather than just having all these bolt-on pieces.
What's we're getting a question from a fan who's watching. Okay, for that fan, you can look at all of the Grade 8 cars on our blog page, which is linked off the front page of our site, carsonline.com. What's the engine in this? We haven't actually talked about that yet.
What we have here at the engine is we've got a Dart big block Chevy 540, all aluminum, polished and sealed so she doesn't oxidize on us. And there's lots of chrome in there. And then we have our own custom-made air cleaner, which is replica of our fender and a bit of our hood blended into that.
Now, you used a complicated pattern in here to, I mean, you guys really got into this. You were explaining the design of the cowl and the engine shield, and everything was kind of in a certain pattern, or made in a certain.
When you look in the engine, our objective was to keep your eye spinning around the engine. We don't have any 90-degree angles in there. Everything rotates. So the cowl, we had to recess the cowl a bit in order to fit this engine in there. But we recessed it and then brought it back out and then back in and around. We put the step on the inside of the hood side, which flows down towards the front of towards the radiator and flows back up. And then the idea in the engine is to keep your eye going over the radiator and back down and around. So that's kind of the circular motion we wanted to keep. Coming off from the radiator, we have that same sort of scallop coming off from that we do off from the back of the cowl. And that's all congruent with the trim on the car. We have a sail that comes down, up and down the side trim that we put on the car. It ties those two together.
All the way to the rear?
All the way to the rear. You can see right by the cowl where the side trim piece sweeps down, and that's a similar sweep that we have on the hood side inside the engine, or in the engine bay there.
Really I got to look at that for a long time to really see what you're talking about. You know,
tried to be real subtle with everything.
I see a suicide door here.
Originally, it was not a suicide door. This originally was a four-door sedan. With a traditional.
And that's all that Graham made for four-door sedans.
They only produced a four-door sedan for 1938. They had plans for a traditional style coupe, but they never went into production with it. And I just thought it's a really neat Art Deco car. It looked great as a two-door coupe, so that was a big part of this build.
So you made a two-door coupe that Graham never actually made.
Exactly.
All right. Yeah. What about the undercarriage on the car? I'm kind of seeing you got mirrors all the way around it, so you can kind of see that there's a lot of chrome under that rear end back there.
Yeah. So what we have in that for the rear end of the car is we've got a 9-inch Kugel style system, Jaguar style system made by Kugel Components for us. So that custom made for us. So an independent rear suspension, independent front suspension on the car. We have a custom drive shaft on here. We've got it running a 700R4 automatic transmission in the car, hooked up to our big block Chevy 540.
How many horsepower is that 540?
She's putting out around 600 horses.
Is that enough to get it down the road?
It'll get us most places from point A to point B.
Who did the interior for you?
L-Cars did the interior for us. They are also the company, the group on the second stage of the build that did the body and paint work on us, along with Mirror Customs.
All right. This is one of the most beautiful cars here, and what I think when I first came in, I spotted this one, and in my mind, this was a winner already when I first saw it. So I want to thank you for talking to us today, Mike. And hopefully, we're going to see you on Sunday night at the Riddler Awards ceremony. I hope you got that trophy in your hand.
I hope I do too.
Okay.
A lot of great competition here.
Thanks for talking to us today. And that's it from the Detroit Autorama for this session. We just got one or two more cars to do, and we'll be talking to you soon. So don't go too far away from your computers. Thanks.